I'm Jesse Thompson from Kaplan Thompson Architects, and we were the lead architects on the project.
My name is Ryan Canteris. I'm a principal at Scott Simons Architects and project architect and design lead for the Design Commons building at the Ecology School project at Riverbend Farm.
I'm Chris Briley. I'm a principal here at Bryburn. We were the design lead for the dormitory building for the Ecology School. We were also the energy modelers for the entire project.
When they described the project, it sounded really, really complex and difficult, and we're suckers for complex and difficult.
The team that's now involved with it was actually all invited to participate in what we thought was essentially an interview process. So it was a unique procurement process. We all thought we were going to learn about the acquisition of the farm and learn about the school and their programs in order to be able to help them with the design. And in the end, the decision was made by Drew Dench, the executive director of the Ecology School, to actually bring us all on board as a collaborative ecology of a team. It was done with a very intentional approach to bring a variety of different perspectives and dispositions towards the project, and actually hopefully end up with a product that was a greater whole than the sum of its parts.
We architects, we've got big egos, we have to, put all of that aside and just work from a very humble standpoint where the project comes first and the client comes first. And, if there were 3 firms that could possibly do this, it would be these 3 firms.
Jesse, before starting his own firm, worked here for 7 years or so. And Chris Briley at Bryburn, his partner, worked here for 6 or 7 years. These firms have a deep interconnection that allowed us to work well and understand our different approaches.
The process of working with a large group like this has been that we've just really learned to communicate better, because you don't all the shortcuts you have when you're just sitting in a room with someone working with them. You have to be more explicit and take good notes and write things down and actually really listen to other people. You can't rely on the shortcuts you usually do.
It was really, check your ego at the door, come together, work, and it was a lot of pinning up of designs and reviewing them together, and I think it really made the project better by having all these different brains and points of view and design talent all in one project.
I think it's going to be really interesting to see the Ecology School evolve over time and be able to see how the kids actually use the place. Because when you're designing, you're guessing on what the future is going to be, and you're trying to predict how are people going to move through a beautiful landscape like this. How are they going to use the paths that you've laid out? How are they going to work with the buildings? And all those things I think are going to be really fascinating to watch, both the energy use of the project to where people choose to sit, and how things like the rain on the skylights sound. It's going to be really interesting to hear all that evolve over time.
Make as much energy, make even more energy than they use, or have even more water than they waste, and to grow a lot of the food right on site that the kids are going to consume. I think as more kids go through that school process, they're going to take that back into their own communities. I think they're going to kind of affect the whole education system, or at least encourage that environmental stewardship and leadership.
There's also a real moment, I think, happening in the state of Maine right now, where the capacity to develop and deliver incredibly high performing and sustainable projects is really, it outclasses what would be expected of a small design community in a state of this size. There's a real depth of expertise and commitment that is visible in the projects being taken on by Maine designers. Every credit goes to the Ecology School for making this a decision that they've held true to, and a decision that they've made happen.
Instead of having one architectural firm that now is a specialist in Living Building Challenge, there's now 3 in the state of Maine that are really good and spreading the gospel, if you will, about the Living Building Challenge in that process.